filters. With premium materials, these filters meet the unique demands of your farm and acreage. Following a strict maintenance routine with premium John Deere oil and filters ensures your equipment will run efficiently for years. Visit your local Acre store to start shopping today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of snow showers throughout the day. It'll be breezy and cold with a high of 0. Tonight, a chance of snow showers, otherwise cloudy and cold, a low of -7. Tomorrow, with deep flurries possible, otherwise decreasing clouds, continued cold temps, a high of 4 above. I'm meteorologist Kyle Hutt for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, it's the middle of winter, the holidays are over, and the weather is unpredictable. Isn't there anything to look forward to? You bet there is! Cash Blast from your Nebraska Lottery is back! Until April 1st, buy a 2x2 ticket and enter the voucher number online for a chance to win one of 7 weekly drawings for $5,000 or $500. And if your voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. Hey, there's nothing like a little green to cure the winter blues. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and is currently searching for journeyman plumbers to join their team. Experience is preferred, but not required for all applicants. When you join the team at Davis Plumbing, you'll receive full benefits package with paid time off. Join a small local business doing big things in Lincoln and surrounding areas. Apply today by calling 402-525-6922 or find them on social media. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
93.7 The Ticket Sports News go now.
I'm Enrique Alvarez-Clary. Nebraska baseball finishes their weekend in Arizona with a 2-2 record as they come back to the frozen tundra of Lincoln. The Huskers dropped their final game to Grand Canyon University by a score of 3-1, despite a strong start from Jackson Brockett. Brockett got the no decision after going 6 innings, allowing 6 hits and 1 earned run while striking out 3. Drew Christo came in relief and allowed 2 runs in 1 1/3 innings, picking up the loss. Nebraska struck first with a run in the first inning on a Dylan Carey groundout that brought Caden Brumbaugh in to score. GCU then got a solo homer in the 5th and 2 runs off a double in the 8th to get the win. The Huskers will head back south, this time to Louisiana, for a 3-game set with the Ragin' Cajuns starting on Friday, February 21st. In the other stickball sport, Nebraska softball earned 2 conference honors, with Ava Cusack and Jordy Ball bringing home co-Big Ten Player of the Week and co-Big Ten Pitcher of the Week, respectively. Cusack hit .643 with 6 home runs in 5 games as Nebraska went 5-0 at the Troy Cox Classic. Cusack homered in 4 of Nebraska's 5 games, including tying the Nebraska Big Ten record with 3 home runs as part of a 4-for-4 day against Montana in the final game of the tournament. Ball went 2-0 in her 2 appearances in the circle, both starts, tossing 10 shutout innings and allowing only 2 singles while striking out 13 batters. One of her starts, versus Montana, she tossed a no-hitter, her 4th of her college career and 1st in a Huskers uniform. Nebraska gets back on the dirt Thursday, February 20th, against number 24 Baylor at the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. Both Huskers basketball teams will be in action this Wednesday. The men get more Sky Miles as they head to State College to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions at 5:30. That game can be seen on Big Ten Network. The women look to right the ship, having lost 3 of their last 4 contests with a home game versus the Oregon Ducks. That game is the annual Play for K Pink Game, promoting cancer awareness. You can watch that game at 7:30 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. And for all the latest sports news and updates, keep it tuned right here to 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm going to shock you. It's a loaded show. And when I say that, I literally just got done telling Jay, if no news happened the rest of this week, I have enough stuff to talk about to cover the rest of this week's shows. Did I not just say that to you?
Yeah, you did.
Dude, all right. Loaded show. Always a loaded show. So much to talk about. Major college football changes. They might actually be able to enforce rules. There's a rumor and innuendo going around that we might have rules that we can actually enforce. And some things may actually make some sense, possibly. We'll see what happens. They're going to meet about it in April and probably vote it down because that's what they do. But there's hope and light at the end of the tunnel for right now. Also, major college football playoff changes. They're going to put more teams in. I hate that, right? I'm anti-expansionist. I'm anti-American, right? Because I'm anti-expansionist. To be clear, that's the joke there. Don't get it twisted, but I actually like what is being potentially proposed mostly because certain things actually make a little bit more sense within what they're trying to do. And that's what we're going to talk about here this first hour. At the top of the hour, noon, they tried to take our running backs coach, Jake. And so what do? We gave him a raise, a big one. Is this a good idea? It doesn't matter if it's a good idea. It's been done. Is it a good thing? Do we like it? Are we happy about it? EJ Barthel, as of what did you tell me, like an hour ago, just got a raise, going from $295 to $450 or whatever it was, something like that. We will discuss that at the top of the hour at noon. Now, Matt Rule, I was going to spend more time on this particular subject today than I'm about to introduce, but we may spend more time on the running back situation, Barthel itself. But we'll see, because Matt Rule keeps bringing it up. He keeps bringing it up. Jump, year 3 jump, college football playoff. Now, I'm not saying he's saying they're going to be in the playoff, but he clearly has some expectations for this year and what's realistic and what's not. And I'm seeing projections coming out. You know, we're like I got the 6th best odds in the Big Ten to win the Big Ten championship. Obviously, there's teams that are way favored above us, and they should be there. But how does that happen? How would that even come to fruition? How could we even be competing for this? Because as crazy as that sounds, and I'm not predicting it. Let me be clear. Capital N-O-T, not predicting it. Who, under God's hot sun, would have thought Indiana would go 11-1 a year ago? You never know what's going to happen. That's all I'm saying. So if there's a path, if there's a world where Nebraska could potentially be in that conversation this year, like somehow Indiana was last year, how would that happen? Now, again, I was going to spend more time on that today. We'll see how the running back Barthel conversation goes at the top of the hour. We probably will touch on at least how that could happen at some point today. Maybe go more in depth on Thursday. Matt Schick, ESPN's own, is going to be joining me at 12:30 today. He's a Colorado alum. Don't forgive him for that. He covered Nebraska football while I was here. So it's okay. It's all forgiven. All right, but he's going to be joining us at 12:30. Matt Schick of ESPN. And then Richie Incognito. Is Richie Incognito innocent? Jonathan Martin, the guy that accused him of bullying a decade ago, 10 years ago, has come out and said that he never felt bullied. I'm just going to pause and let that just exist in the universe. Like, what is going on? First of all, a grown man saying I was bullied. Now, 10 years later, saying he's not. Now, those of us who know Richie, we're not like, oh my God, I can't believe it. We'll talk about that to close the show. Around, probably 12:45 today. But let's start right off the top. Of course, the Adam Carriker Show. All right. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days a week, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. Grab your lunch. Come join us. What you're going to hear, Husker sports, college football, sports in general, what you're going to get. Unique insight, unbridled honesty, and producer Jake and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. All right. Changes to the college football playoff. Let's start with that. So in 2026, so nothing is going to change for the 2025 season as far as how the playoff works. It's going to be 12 teams. The top 4 highest rated conference champions are going to get the top 4 seeds. The 5th highest rated conference champ will be in the playoff, not guaranteed anything. All right, it's going to work just how it did last year. They're not going to change a thing. That needs to be noted. But 2026. Now, there is the potential come 2031. A lot of things could change drastically come 2031. And basically, I anticipate the Big Ten and SEC completely trying to take over at that point. But most likely from 2026 to 2031, this is what the college football playoff is going to look like. Now, This is, I'm going to read something. Ross Dellinger, if you follow him, he does a phenomenal job covering this. I mean, he's doing the best work out there. Other folks are doing a good job too, but he's doing the best work out there, being on top of the college football changes, the changing landscape, the college football playoff changing landscape. All right. And this is a statement from his article that he put out that pertains to the SEC, the Big Ten, and how this is going to work starting in 2026. According to most who have viewed the memorandum of understanding from last spring, now the SEC and Big Ten have met in the past month. They're going to meet again in the next couple of weeks. It's always the SEC and Big Ten, and it's always down south. Why can't those Southern Bells ever come up north? I digress. All right, the SEC and Big Ten hold, here's the power play. They have been beyond confident, straight up cocky about certain things. Now, the SEC is more vocal, but the Big Ten's been right there with them, just not as vocal and entitled and loud and bubble-like minded with a loud voice. Yes, I'm taking all sorts of shots. It's okay. They can at me on Twitter all day. We can chat if they'd like. The Southern Bells I'm talking about. The SEC and Big Ten holds, here's why they've been so cocky. The SEC and Big Ten hold sole discretion on the future of the college football playoff format starting in 2026. The beginning of the college football playoffs' new 6-year television agreement with ESPN that runs through the 2031 season. So there's the years and the dates that I was talking about. Everything's going to change, not everything, but things are going to change 2026. And in 2031, when that agreement runs out, I think everything is going to change drastically. All right, let's continue reading. The agreement grants the league's decision-making power. This is not the NCAA. This is not the Big 12. This is not the ACC. This is the Big Ten and SEC. The agreement grants the leagues, in parentheses, Big Ten and SEC, decision-making power over the format, but directs them to have meaningful consultation and collect input, yeah, right, from the other conferences before making their decision. Basically, they have all the power. And there's nothing anybody can do about it because they took everybody else's teams. Now we've got the best teams. Now we've got the biggest brands. Now we've got the best athletes. Now we've got the most draft picks, national champions, and the highest TV revenue. We're making the most money. So they get all the power. That's how the world works, unfortunately, especially in the world of college football, and not just college football, I might add. Topic for another day. So here's what's being proposed. Well, it's not what's being proposed. It's what's going to happen. In 2026, it's going to go. The college football playoff is going to go to either 14 or 16 teams. All right. Within the conferences, this is how it's going to look, at least for the SEC and the Big Ten. We can discuss the Big 12, the ACC, what's being proposed there as well. The G5, just hope you get your one guaranteed spot or go start your own playoff. And I'm the Cinderella guy. I'm the guy that argues they should be in. I'm the guy that says they should be given more opportunity. If they get one spot guaranteed, that's all they're ever going to get. It just is what it is. I'm the Cinderella guy. I'm the one guy that thinks Boise should have a seat at the table to at least compete. And if they lose, they lose. If they win, they win. But they don't have a whole lot of power. They don't hold a whole lot of cards. If all these conferences are sitting at a table right now and they're holding cards, the SEC and Big Ten got about 10 cards in their hand. The ACC and Big 12 got about 6, and the G5 combined have 1. At least they got 1. All right, and maybe someday they go start their own tournament, which I honestly would not be a fan of. I want them to have a seat at the table. I want them to be included. But we're going to start with the Big Ten and SEC, how this would look starting in 2026 based on what's being proposed. And there's 2 different slight proposals, okay, based on whether it's a 16-team format or a 14-team format. So the first proposal is a 14-team format. So let's say the Big Ten, the number 1 and 2 teams in the conference at the end of the year would play each other for a conference championship. So this past year, let me find, I know who it was. Oregon and Penn State would have played each other for a conference championship. Okay. The top 2 teams in the SEC would play each other for a conference championship. Georgia, Texas. What is different is you would also have play-in games because the Big Ten and SEC in this 14-team format would be guaranteed 4 teams every year, no matter what. It doesn't matter if they're 11-1 or 8-4. So the top 4 teams in the Big Ten get an automatic spot in the playoff, in this 14-team playoff. Same thing with the SEC, so we're at 8. The ACC would get 2. The Big 12 would get 2. That puts you at 12. The G5 gets 1. That puts you at 13. Then you got an at-large spot. Everybody's going to go right to Notre Dame. So if Notre Dame's the next highest-ranked team, it's them. Or whoever it may or may not be. That's how you get to your 14 teams. Right, 4 Big 10, 4 SEC, 2 ACC, 2 Big 12. You got your 1 G5, and then you got your at-large spot, which is probably going to go to Notre Dame like 75% of the time. Conference championship weekend, the top 2 Big 10 teams play, the top two SEC teams play. Now, what's being proposed is if you win the SEC or the Big 10 championship, you automatically get a number 1 or number 2 seed. And in a 14-team playoff, the 1 and 2 seeds get a first-round bye. So let's say this past year, Oregon beats Penn State, which we know happened. They get the number 1 seed. They get a first-round bye. Georgia beats Texas, which we know happened. They get the number 2 seed. They get a first-round bye. Now, what happens is in order to fill out the final 2 spots for the SEC and the final 2 spots for the Big Ten, the number 3 team in the Big Ten Conference at the end of the regular season would play the number 6 team. Now, they didn't say neutral site, home field. I hope to God it would be home field. 4 would play 5. So I'm hoping that 4 hosts 5, 3 hosts 6. So this past year, all right, I'm looking at the final Big Ten standings at the end of the regular season. 1 was Oregon, 2 was Penn State. All right, let's see. 3 was actually Indiana. 4 was Ohio State. 5 was Illinois. 6 was Iowa. So we would have had number 3 Indiana hosting number 6 Iowa. Number 4, Ohio State, hosting number 5, Illinois. And the winner of those 2 games gets the remaining 2 slots for the Big Ten into the college football playoff. All right, Jake, you make this prediction. Okay, whatever you say says goes. You're the unbridled king and tyrant predicting who gets to get in here. Right. Indiana versus Iowa. Who wins that game? Who gets the 3rd slot for the Big Ten? Because, I forgot to say, the loser of the Big Ten championship game still gets automatically in. You just don't get the first-round bye. You're basically playing for the first-round bye, that 1 versus 2. Okay? All right. So let's say Penn State is the number 2 seed for the Big Ten or number 2 team out of the Big Ten. All right. So let's say Indiana versus Iowa. Who would you have winning?
Indiana.
All right. We got Indiana as the 3rd team. Then you've got Ohio State and Illinois. Just say Illinois for fun. I just want you to say Illinois. Yeah. Are you seriously going with Illinois?
Well, no. I mean, we could just do chalk. We could go to Ohio State. I mean, they won the title.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, Brett.
I know. Okay. All right. So in the SEC, as we talked about, Texas, Georgia, 1 versus 2. So let me pull up the final SEC standings here. So number 3 would have been Tennessee. They would have hosted number 6, South Carolina. All right. Who would you have winning that?
South Carolina's pretty hot down the stretch. I'll go with South Carolina.
Ooh, got the upset there. I like it. I keep saying hosting. It doesn't actually say who would be the home field team. I'm just hoping that's the way it would go. Alabama versus LSU would be the 4 and 5 game. Who do you got winning?
Let's go with Alabama.
All right. So the 4 teams from the Big Ten would be Oregon, Penn State, Indiana, Ohio State. The 4 teams from the SEC, all right, per King Jake over here. I say that with love and respect. As soon as I said it, it came across sarcastically. I didn't mean it that way.
I could go with King Jake. You're going to start calling me that.
All right.
Fine.
Well, now that you like it, I don't want to do it. All right. Georgia, South Carolina. I forgot Texas. Oh, Texas. All right. Gag me you. All right. So there's your first 8. I don't want to say first 8, but there's 8 teams in this 14-team playoff. So now you go the ACC and the Big 12. And this is where it actually gets interesting because you don't have a conference title game. The way it's being proposed, it's not about a conference champion because you don't get a bye if you win the ACC or the Big 12. You get in if you're one of the top 2 teams. So there'd be no conference championship game. It'd be 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. And the winner of those 2 games gets the 2 seeds from the ACC. Same thing with the Big 12. Does that make sense, Jake?
Yeah.
So here's how, according to the standings, it would have been SMU versus Syracuse, 1 versus 4. 2 versus 3 would have been Clemson, Miami. That would have been fun to watch. Yeah. All right, but who do you got? SMU versus Syracuse.
Let's go with SMU.
All right, SMU. And then Clemson versus Miami. Who gets the other? So there's no, I guess the conference champ is the regular season champ. There's no per se conference championship game. The way it's being proposed.
Yeah.
So let's say Clemson, Florida, or Miami, Florida. Who you got?
Clemson.
All right, so there's your 2 teams from the SEC. Let's go to the Big 12 here. All right. So, number one would have been Arizona State. Oh, this could have been interesting. Cam Scattaboo versus Travis Hunter. Arizona State hosting Colorado. I actually like this. All right. Who would you take?
Sparky.
I assume that means Scattaboo.
Yep, Arizona State.
Okay. All right. BYU, Iowa State.
Iowa State.
All right. So there's your first 12 teams. I don't want to say first 12, but there's your 12 teams in from the quote-unquote Power 4 conferences. All right. Notre Dame would have been the at-large team this year, and then Boise would have been the highest G5 team. So that's how that goes, the 14 teams. So I don't know exactly how the seeding would have gone here beyond Boise. Actually, they were in the top 10 in the rankings. Okay. But we know Oregon probably would have been 1, Georgia would have been 2, and then 3 versus 14. Those two teams would have had a bye. 3 versus 14, like 3 would have hosted 14. Can't even think right now. 4 versus 13. It's just such a weird. I'm not used to starting at 3 and going to 14.
Yeah.
Anyways, the highest seed would host the lowest seed. Okay. And then come round 2, you're going to have 8 teams with the 6 teams that won and the top 2 teams that had a bye. And you just keep playing it on down. So that's what's been proposed if it's a 14-team playoff. I'll tell you, you know what? I will tell you what I like about it. And I don't know what Jake thinks, but he can tell us whether he likes it, whether he hates it, right after this break.
Husker Nation, it's your last chance to see Nebraska women's hoops in Pinnacle Bank Arena before they head to the Big Ten tournament. Head down to Pinnacle Bank Arena on Sunday, February 23rd at 2 p.m. to watch the Husker women's basketball team compete against Washington. It's senior night, so help them thank the seniors by creating a loud and proud sea of red in the stands. Get your tickets today for as low as $10. Head to huskers.com/tickets to secure your seats today.
Attention! For the entire month of February, Acres has John Deere packaged oil and filters for 15% off. John Deere engineers its oil filters specifically for large ag equipment and commercial and residential mowers. With premium materials, these filters meet the unique demands of your farm and acreage. Following a strict maintenance routine with premium John Deere oil and filters ensures your equipment will run efficiently for years. Visit your local Acres store to start shopping today.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Bundle up, bring your crew, and make this winter one for the books with Bachfest at Beer House. Enjoy winter brews that will tangle with your taste buds, polka dancing, games like Hammerschlagen, Stein Stamina, and much more. Bach beer will be flowing, and sausages and pretzels will be available for purchase. Doors open at 11 a.m., and the party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $5 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for this Saturday's Bachfest.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Abby with Midwest Bank. Stop by our new location at 70th and Pioneers. Our new full-service branch does it all. From our friendly staff to our easy online banking and mobile app, you get all the technology of a big bank that you need, but you still get the hometown customer service that you want. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Well, it's the middle of winter, the holidays are over, and the weather is unpredictable. Isn't there anything to look forward to? You bet there is. Cash Blast from your Nebraska Lottery is back. Until April 1st, buy a 2x2 ticket and enter the voucher number online for a chance to win one of 7 weekly drawings for $5,000 or $500. And if your voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. Hey, there's nothing like a little green to cure the winter blues. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through February 18th is 15% off chocolates, 15% off wines and spirits, and $10 off filet mignon per pound. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with zero down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Segment 2 of this fine program, at least you hope you feel that way about it, is brought to you by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue at 11th and Cornhusker, open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much more, plus incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, located at 11th and Cornhusker. Also, I want to give a shout-out to our good friends at Automotive Solutions. All right, you can find them at 2040 Southwest 5th Street here in good old Lincoln, Nebraska. All right, so to surmise, because Jake during the break was like, man, this is really complicated. So it is, if your expectation is let's just take the top 14 teams in America, you got to keep in mind, this is business. The Big Ten wants a guaranteed amount of slots. You think the SEC isn't mad that they were left Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss? Who cares if they would have lost? The fact is the SEC should have been in, right? It's business. They want guaranteed slots for guaranteed money. That's just how it's going to work, okay? So here's how it works in simpler form. The Big Ten is going to get 4 teams, no matter what. The SEC is going to get 4 teams. The ACC is going to get 2. The Big 12 is going to get 2. The G5 is going to get 1. If they go 14 teams, if they jump straight to 16, it changes a little bit. And then there's an at-large spot most likely Notre Dame, more often than not. And the top 2 seeds would go to the Big Ten and SEC champions, the winner of their championship games, to preserve. Because right now, people are going to argue that Big Ten championship game meant nothing. And they're right. If I'm Oregon, I'm like, I should have played my backups. I should have gone Week 18 Kansas City Chiefs, who got annihilated by the Broncos yet made the Super Bowl. I should have gone full on Game 4 of the preseason NFL and played our backups. Because what good did it do them? All right, Big Ten championship, year 1, Big Ten. Hey, that's cool. We got absolutely annihilated when it mattered the most in the Rose Bowl. That's how, if I'm Oregon, that's how I'm looking at it. Now, all of a sudden, these conference championship games matter, and the TV companies that are paying bukus of money, they want them to matter. It's business. It's all business. And here's something else, and I want to give it to Jake here for a second. All right. Here's something else, because he goes, well, do you want that bye with the incredible long layoff? It's 25 days. That absolutely hurt teams last year. That's why they went 0-4. The top 4 seeds went 0-4. Oregon and Georgia were absolutely 2 of the best teams in the country. Bam, game 1. Both teams severely outplayed by the other team. 2 teams that made the national title game. So my thought is, well, why take all this time off? Maybe we end the season with the national championship game on the Rose Bowl on the January 1st. Maybe the Final Four is the day of January 1st instead of 4 bowl games with 8 playoff teams January 1st, which creates a gigantic layoff between college football Saturday, championship Saturday, the beginning of December, all the way to January 1st. Why don't we start playing the college football games like the very next weekend, the playoff games, the very next weekend? And then you just keep on going, and maybe you end January 1st or maybe the weekend after January 1st. I don't hate the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl each being a playoff game, or the Rose Bowl being the national title game, and that's how it ends. I'm cool either way with it. But let's start playing the playoff games right away. So that way, let's say Georgia, Oregon only get 1 week off. And then it's like the NFL playoffs, and all of a sudden it's an advantage. Now you don't have to win that extra tough game. Now you can get fresh, and you can get healed up. If you're banged up, you can get healthy. So now you're missing 1 week, an actual bye, which is an actual advantage, versus missing 25, which is an extreme disadvantage. Okay, I hope that made a little bit more sense. Some of these matchups excite me. I'm not going to lie to you. Arizona State, Colorado would have been fun. BYU, Iowa State, okay, that's cool. But you look at like Clemson, Miami, who did not play in the regular season. That would have been fun. All right, Indiana versus Iowa, okay, whatever. But Ohio State, Illinois, could Illinois, they beat Michigan this year. They beat South Carolina this year. Well, could they have shocked the world? Probably not, but you never know. Ohio State would have been fresh off that Michigan loss. Instead of having weeks or a couple of weeks to bounce back for that, they would have had to turn around and play the next weekend. How would they have handled that? You look at the SEC. These could have been some fun matchups. Alabama, LSU again, I mean, I guess. But, Tennessee, South Carolina, these are fun matchups. Are we devaluing the regular season? Absolutely. We've already done that. Here's why. I'm going to be quiet because I want to give it to Jake. If we were still at the 4-team playoff, I'd be like, I hate this. But we're already at the 12-team playoff, and they're not going to take teams or games away because that's giving money back. To me, we've already done enough damage. How can we right the ship with what's realistic going forward? All of a sudden, conference championship games matter, at least in 2 conferences. All of a sudden, you've got playoff games within championship weekend, which is exciting for me. To me, certain things make more sense. The top 4 seeds, after the top 2 automatic Big Ten SEC champ getting a bye, it's based on rankings, which makes more sense than how the top 4 seeds are done right now. To me, so much of it makes more sense. Do I prefer this? 18 playoff is what I would like, by the way. Do I prefer this to an 18 playoff? No. Do I prefer this to the current 12-team format playoff? Absolutely. Jake, I'll be quiet. Your turn.
Yeah, I think that's just part of it. Is like, I prefer the BCS.
You're so annoyed. Dude,
Yeah.
You are so annoyed.
Well, and again, back in the BCS days, it was if you lost a game, every game mattered. So if you lost the game, you might be out for the entire thing. When we went to 4, it was like, okay, now you might be able to lose the game and get away with it. And part of it too is that my pride in the 95 Huskers, 71 Huskers, where we have arguments about are they the greatest team of all time. That was part of the fun too. Is if you lost officially, you were not in the conversation. You could win the championship maybe, but you were not going to be in the conversation for greatest team of all time. Now it's just so the regular season is so devalued that I'll be frustrated one way or the other. But as far as this 14-team model, it just seems like a lot. I mean, there's still a lot more to be done, and it makes me sick because it's all business move based on money. Some of the problem I thought from this playoff was Thursday, Friday games, Monday games, just kind of felt, out of place. So I think that this maybe could work. Like you said, it guarantees the SEC and Big Ten what they want. Don't love them each getting an autumn. If an ACC team goes undefeated, perhaps they should be the top seed or the second seed. Big 12, kind of the same thing there. So I really don't love it. I mean, if you're going to guarantee 4 spots to 2 conferences, I understand why the power needs to be there. But at this point, and I'm anti-expansion too, but at this point, just go with the 16-team model in my mind. Then you can give your 4s away. And then it feels like the other conferences still can get their teams in. But I suppose from there, then the SEC and Big Ten would start arguing they want 5 or 6 automatic qualifiers. So I don't think there's any way to please the powers that be. And those are the better conferences. I understand why everything kind of needs to be where it is, but it just throws everything off whack. I mean, if you're going to do all that, I continue to think if everything's going to be based off conferences, then why have non-con play? If all these teams can't play each other, at least get closer to that. Have the SEC and Big Ten play solely SEC and Big Ten games, and then once you get there, then your conference pride, it kind of comes back, right? Then it's all of a sudden, okay, well now, we get to see what happens in the playoffs. But I don't know. That sounds like you're asking your fans, you kind of just want to sit down and think, okay, what's on the line here? What does this mean moving forward? And it just sounds, with that 14-team model, there's just so many variances and different things, moving parts. It's just like, I don't even know what a win means at times, what a loss really will mean. So I would much prefer again, anti-expansion, but I much prefer 16 basic, 8 across. I mean, we know what everything is. Move it up in a playoff bracket that I can read. I don't have to look it up and down and say, okay, well, this happens and then here, there. I just, I think simplifying it makes it better. But like you said, it's all based on business. And so we'll see what the business decisions lead them to make their decisions.
Let me ask you this question, because you're right. So one thing I like about this, it basically eliminates the committee. It's all about the conference play. Now the conference races matter. Are we 1 and 2? Can we possibly earn a bye? Are we 3? Are we 6? Do we get home field? Do we not? All that matters now is your conference games. So it takes essentially the BS college football playoff committee out of it for the most part. Okay. And I like that. 13 is not enough. You need more people so that one person's opinion can't sway everything so much, or 2 people getting on the same page. And then, hey, I'll scratch your back, you scratch my back. Now you got 4, you control a third of the vote. And then all of a sudden everything starts swaying. I've always thought, why not just do a combination of the AP poll, the coaches poll, the college football playoff committee, and computer rankings, and average across the board those 4 things? I don't know. Sometimes things just make too much sense in my humble opinion, but that's just my humble opinion. But here's something else I like. They have said that if this is the model they go to, which they're going to 14 or 16, the SEC and ACC will immediately go to 9 conference games. And they said because they can absorb the extra loss. They've been avoiding the extra loss. Kirby Smart, I had an article up on my computer for months and I just never got to it. He basically said, why would we go to 9 conference games? We're guaranteeing ourselves across 16 teams, 8 more games, 8 more losses. Why would we do that to ourselves? So he flat out put it out there, what everyone knew. Oh, yeah. They were running from those losses. But hey, it's all about the wins. We guaranteed ourselves an extra win every year. But ignore that. It's all about the wins, right? So they would go to 9 conference games because all of a sudden they can absorb that extra loss because all that matters is the conference games. So they also talked about a scheduling agreement. So do you like, if they go to 9 conference games, that part of this? Because I like it too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that Big Ten did because the SEC said they were going to do. And then the SEC said, no, we're not going to do it. The Big Ten just went forward with it.
Oh, you want to know something else that's going on? Hold on, see if I can find it real quick. While I'm looking for that, because the SEC did, they just, oh my goodness. I'm not a Big Ten homer at all, right? Or a Nebraska homer at all. But here's something else they did, per Ross Dellinger. After a Georgia lawmaker introduced a similar bill, a state lawmaker in Alabama is introducing legislation making NIL earnings exempt from state income tax. You have any idea the advantage that would give the SEC? Hey, come here and you don't have to pay taxes on what we're paying you. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, here's what Ross put at the bottom. The SEC saw the Big Ten win 2 straight national titles and said, never again. So I like that it goes to 9 games. Again, we've entered the slippery slope. For anyone who thought they were going to stop at 4, nope. Anyone who thought, I didn't think we'd go straight to 12. I thought we'd go to 8th and 12 and 16 and 95,000. But the slippery slope had started where we went to 4. And they made it all about the college football playoff. Remember that slogan back in the day, are you in? Are you in? In other words, if you're not in the playoff, it doesn't matter, which led to the destruction of bowl games to a degree, which actually seemed more relevant last year, which I was happy about that. I think they're trying to do things to keep players in those games, which I like as well. Like Dion, basically, Colorado offered insurance to the players. If you get hurt, they paid for the insurance to be. If you get hurt in this game, you get paid an X amount of money. So they had Travis Hunter and Shadur and et cetera play in the game. So 9 conference games for the ACC and SEC. Okay. The other thing is a scheduling agreement between the Big Ten and SEC. So what we'd see more Alabama, Ohio State. We would see more LSU, Michigan. We would see more Nebraska. I don't know, pick an SEC school, Florida, Tennessee. Any of these schools, Auburn, Georgia, whatever, you would see more of it on TV. You know why? You just said it. Non-conference games don't matter. We can lose these. We can get paid a bunch of money, put them on TV, but all that matters is the games we're going to play later on, known as the conference games. So to me, there's things I like about it. Would I have chosen this? If somebody said, hey, 4, 8, 6, 10, 12, 14, 16 teams, would I have chosen this? Nope. Would I take this over the current model? Absolutely. Does that all kind of make sense?
Yeah, I get it. We're backed into a corner. We got to pick something.
This is better. This is better in my opinion. The 16-team model, what changes is everything stays the same from my understanding. All right, is Big Ten, SEC get 4, Big 12, ACC get 2. You got your at-large, you got your G5 guaranteed. The difference is now the Big Ten and SEC 3 would still play 6, 4 would play 5. Okay, the big, like we talked about earlier. All right, but the 1 versus 2 wouldn't play. They wouldn't play because there's no bye. So now the championship game doesn't matter as much. So 1 and 2 would automatically be in. They wouldn't have to play a bonus championship game because they wouldn't get a bye because there's 16 teams. They'd be playing in the first round of the playoffs because there's no bye with 16 teams. So it gets rid of that conference championship game, but it gets you 2 extra playoff games. I'd personally rather have the conference championship game because 1 versus 16, 2 versus 15, that's not going to be interesting. But Texas, Georgia, Oregon, Penn State, that's interesting to get that bye. But that's, and the extra 2 slots, that 15th and 16th slot, from my understanding, and this is still being thrown around a ton with folks who are deciding what to do, basically how they can make the most money, it would just go to the remaining highest ranked teams.
That's interesting too. But I mean, and maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Again, if you like further playoffs, that's good. And that would put an emphasis on those games, but that's what that is. I mean, you can call it a 14 or 16 team playoff, but if you're having playoff games to get into the playoff, well, then that's
play-in games. That was the language. Sorry, Jake.
But play-in games to get to the playoff, then that's another round of the playoff.
You're right.
So you're really having 20, 2014, whatever the math
more
is,
money makers.
Yeah, but a lot more of a round of a playoff. So
you make a great point. So 2, 4, 6, that's an additional 8 teams that get a chance to. It's legit. So if you go 14 teams, it's 22. If you go 16, it's still 24-team playoff. They're just play-in games, Jake.
Yeah.
Play-in games. They've tricked us, those sneaky bastards. So, yeah, if it's a 16-team playoff, it's really 24 teams because you've got those play-in games. So that's how the 16-team would work. Basically, the 1 and 2 seeds actually would get a bye. It'd just be championship weekend. It's not called a bye. You just don't have to play to get in. You're already in. Does that make sense? If it's 16 teams?
Yeah, and I think too. I mean, you're struggling to find a way to make championship weekend matter. Like you said, you can do the 14 team thing and get a bye. How well did that work this past? Like we need more data, but that didn't work all that well this past year. So I mean, I think that's probably part of the problem is just moving to this expanding playoffs where the Big Ten, the top teams in the Big Ten, and the SEC are going to get in one way or the other. It's hard to value that Big 12, Big 10 playoffs. So our championship games. So I think you just kind of should go back to regular season champs. And if you want to do these play-in games, then so be it. But you wouldn't, the top teams wouldn't necessarily have to do it.
So you like the 16-team model or the 14? Because I have one I definitely like better. Which one do you prefer based on what's been explained?
I'd probably I don't necessarily care for the buys. So I'd probably go 16.
So I like the 14 team because I don't give a crap about Oregon playing some team that's 16th in the country with 4 losses. That's not interesting to me. Once every 25 years, there'll be an upset. The other 20 will be blowouts and 4. Oh, yay, they played them within single digits at the end when they were down 21 and scored 2 late touchdowns. The Oregon versus Penn State to get the bye, to make the conference championship matter, that's more exciting to me than, I don't know, whoever 16th was this year, but it's not going to be an intriguing matchup, whereas Texas versus Georgia to get that SEC title game, now the SEC title, matters, and to get the first round bye matters. But I only want the bye if we start the playoff game sooner. If we're given 25 days off, I'm playing my backup so I don't get the bye. You know, the teams that were seeded 5 through 8 in last year's playoffs, okay, went 4-0 in the first round, went 4-0 in the second round, and 2 of them made the national title game. They ended up having to play each other in the end of it. They were 8-0 until they had to play each other in the Final Four. I want that 5 through 8 this upcoming year. So it depends on when the bye is, but I prefer the 14 team for that reason. So I wanted to talk Nate Robinson next. And this is a story I definitely want to get to, but we got some more college football changes. They're actually going to have a way to enforce rules, to like investigate and hold people accountable. And no, it has nothing to do with the useless NCAA. So I want to get to the Nate Robinson thing. I know the slam dunk competition by the time Thursday rolls around will be old news, but this is a cool thing. He's been through a lot. I know him firsthand, 3-time NBA slam dunk champion, played football and basketball at Washington. But we're going to do that on Thursday because I want to get to some of the other changes in college football in the next segment. And then EJ Barthel has officially gotten a raise. And we're going to talk about, hey, is that good? Are we excited about this? Are we not? Would we have done something else with the money? It's not our money, so it's easy for us to say. But we'll talk about that at the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Well, it's the middle of winter. The holidays are over and the weather is unpredictable. Isn't there anything to look forward to? You bet there is. Cash Blast from your Nebraska lottery is back. Until April 1st, buy a 2x2 ticket and enter the voucher number online for a chance to win one of 7 weekly drawings for $5,000 or $500. And if your voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. Hey, there's nothing like a little green to cure the winter blues. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
Opportunity can knock at any moment. When it does, you can't afford to miss a call. That's why you need a business phone system that gives your team the flexibility to answer anytime, anywhere. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, we make it easy to equip your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. We enhance the efficiency technology provides while putting people first in all we do. That's why we meet your business right where you are by offering customized office technology solutions that meet your specific needs. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of snow showers throughout the day. It'll be breezy and cold with a high of 0. Tonight, a chance of snow showers, otherwise cloudy and cold, a low of -7. Tomorrow, we'll keep flurries possible, otherwise decreasing clouds, continued cold temps, a high of 4 above. I'm meteorologist Kyle Hutt for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
February is American Heart Month, the perfect time to focus on your health. Even a small change can make a big impact on your heart health. Try adding a vegetable to your dinner or a no-salt seasoning. Looking for support in making these small changes? Join a healthy living program to learn about healthy lifestyle changes with a supportive and encouraging group. Search Chronic Disease Nebraska for more information. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, West Ham plays Brentford at 9 a.m., followed by Crystal Palace versus Everton at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, Liverpool plays Wolves at 8 a.m., followed by Tottenham versus Man United at 10:30 a.m. Liverpool currently leads the standings with 57 points. You can find all this and more at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket, your place for English Premier League soccer, located at 8th and P.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. I love the Rico and the sports highlight things, like in the breaks, called it the other stickball sport, talking about baseball and a softball, two of my favorite sports on planet Earth. And just between you and me, ladies and gentlemen, I actually kind of prefer softball just a little bit. There's no pickoffs. The game moves quicker. Bunts actually, you're not just sacrificing yourself. You can actually slap and get on base with hits. It's a little bit quicker of a game, but don't tell any of the guys out there I said that. I'm just saying, all right. And to be clear, 8 teams. That's what I would have personally liked. 8 teams in the college football playoff and maintain bowl games actually freaking mattering. But there's other changes in college football. So Josh Pate has a national college football show. We got about a 2-minute clip. We're going to play that. He does a phenomenal job. His made-up university, if he were ever be a coach, is called Pate State. That's going to come up throughout this clip. But go ahead and roll about that 2-minute clip, and then Jake and I will react.
Multiple penalties are under discussion for teams found to be circumventing or exceeding the new cap or any other rule violation, i.e. tampering including school fines, revenue share pool reductions, and coach and administrator suspensions. So what you are entering now, if this is approved, you're entering a new world. In fact, later this year, we're entering the revenue sharing world. We're entering the revenue sharing era. Okay, if you're an LSU fan, you're going to have something like $20 to $21 million that you're allowed to spend on your roster. I didn't say thousand. I said million. Players are about to make a lot of money. College football players are about to make a lot of money off this. College football players are huge winners in this, huge winners. And anyone who screams at you otherwise is probably screaming at you otherwise because although the college football players are going to win, maybe they miss out on something. So it's in their best interest to scream from the mountaintops that the system is broken. System's not broken when $20 million are being divided up amongst college football roster. Full stop. I continue. Athletes whose outside NIL deals are found not to be at fair market value will be ruled ineligible if they execute those deals. Now, this is hypothetical. This is in this new world. As part of the settlement terms, there would be a separate court-overseen arbitration system that serves as an appeals process for athletes who believe their NIL deals were unfairly struck down. Here's what that translates to. Right now, I can offer a kid $10 million if I want to, and I can just say it's NIL. Everyone knows it's pay for play, but there's really no policing it. The NCAA has said as much. We got to back away this whole Tennessee thing that just went down. We can't enforce our own rules. This is a world where there would be rules, and they would be enforceable, and you would have congressional help of sorts in actually adding teeth to your enforcement arm. So when we're talking about this, what we're really talking about is you got $20 million that you can divide up amongst your roster, and NIL's still okay, but it better be fair market value. Because if I catch you, Pate State, although we would never do such things, but if they catch me, Pate State, going and spending $20.5 million on my roster, which I'm allowed to do because of revenue sharing, but then I'm still kind of sucking. So I need a quarterback, or maybe I need a left tackle. So I go over here and I ask my booster to kick in $6 million to go buy Oregon's left tackle. Can't do that anymore. And I can't do it because that's not fair market value. That's just pay for play. And in this hypothetical world, there are teeth. There is an investigative body and an enforcement arm that can actually drop the hammer on you.
What are your thoughts when you hear that, Jake? Basically, what he's saying is there's actually going to be revenue sharing, which is got to be approved, but it's going to happen. Every team's going to have about $20 million, give or take, to spend. Now, some people are like, oh, that's going to give the big boys an advantage. Every team's not going to be able to do that. Well, if there's no cap, then you got the Dodgers and Yankees situation, and the teams who can't reach 20 certainly aren't going to reach 20 to 30, especially like this playoff. You pointed it out. It's really a 2014 playoff. Do you have any idea how much money they're going to make? Plus, they're going to keep bowl games. They're trying to make them mean something. The amount of money, and they have to, because then now they have to pay their labor force. They were kind of forced. We have to pay our players. So we have to make more money. So now everything is business related. And there's other reasons that are involved as well. Let's be honest. People like to make money. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it goes too far. I don't want it to affect the sport that I freaking love. My priority is what's best for the sport. And that's what I don't want things to go too far with. But what he's talking about is there will be a branch that will investigate if you're violating rules. Are you spending more than $20 million? Are you giving your players more than fair market value? You can't do that. That becomes pay for play, which is what NIL is right now. And he's saying that this is on the table, could be approved in April. They can actually investigate these things, and they can actually punish teams instead of being the scared little kitty in the corner, which is the useless NCAA, which has been a fraud of an institution for decades. Now they're completely and utterly useless, and they're scared to death to do anything, or they get their pantsuit off. And there's actually going to be a branch that can actually make some sense of college football. This is hope. If you're a college football fan, this is hope. This is a good thing. Now, he went on. I didn't play that later on in this particular segment. He talked about how it could very well be the conferences policing themselves. I would prefer if there was an entity that was impartial and didn't have motivation to let Ohio State and Michigan get away with things, or Alabama and Georgia get away with things because the SEC wants their big dogs to do well. I would rather there be an impartial, overarching branch of college football that runs college football. But at least if you're going to investigate and enforce rules, you don't have a dog in the fight. You can legit just hold people accountable. To me, when I heard this, and it could be approved in April, I was like, there's hope. There's hope for sanity in football, in college football. There's hope. What are your thoughts, Jake?
Yeah, I like the idea. Obviously a governing body that actually has some power certainly could go a long way for college football. It is interesting when you get to fair market value, though, because you can have a lot of different arguments there. I mean, Olivia Dunn or anybody that's able to do it, on social media, how do you kind of police that? Shedeur Sanders, like his value is much higher because he's the son of a celebrity, but it's still related to football. You know what I mean? Like the quarterback at Nebraska, other than the governor and the head coach. I mean, that's kind of the biggest position in the state. And it's still related to football, but outside of it, like that can create more, opportunity for you in the NIL world. So I think that could be somewhat of a slippery slope or a tough, thing to go about. But at least there would be some sort of structure. I think the bigger thing, and I personally, it just kind of depends on what you care for. I personally don't mind the no salary cap deal. I know they're trying to get it organized. I would say more, I think the bigger problem is just not having to sit out a year if you transfer. I think that would do a lot more than any of this to help coaches with the roster maintenance, and still allow people to spend their money and get their money, as they could or should in the current model.
I mean, there's going to be gray areas. There's going to be discretion. If you notice, you're right. I agree with everything you said. But I said there's hope. There's hope. There's a dim light at the end of this insane, long, windy college football tunnel that doesn't make any sense right now. And there's a little bit of hope. Now, is there a lot of things, to your point, that, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? Those are things that have to be ironed out, because everything you said is fair to point out. For me, there's hope, because right now it's insane and it's chaos and it makes no freaking sense in college football. Too many things anyways. So for me, I see hope, and like people are kind of like, hey, there's going to be a salary cap. Hey, there's going to be a branch that investigates the illegal stuff we all know is going on. There's going to be a branch that can actually enforce it instead of being the scared little kitty known as the NCAA. Like, these things are coming, and for me, it gives me hope as a college football fan, while, to your point, there's still a whole lot of things to iron out. All right, before we go to break, just an Urban Meyer quote from 2006. And I quote, "If you don't win your conference, you shouldn't be playing for a national championship." End quote. Thoughts, Jake?
I agree.
If you're not the best team in your conference, what are you doing playing for a national title? I digress. All right, when we come back, A.J. Barthel. Talk to Penn State. Talk to Texas. He has direct connections to folks down there in Texas. Matt Rule said, we're going to bring you back. Gave him a, what was it, $157,000 pay raise? Is that about right?
Yeah, I think somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere in there. All right, we're going to talk about that. Are we excited? Are we not? What are our thoughts? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Husker Nation, it's your last chance to see Nebraska women's hoops in Pinnacle Bank Arena before they head to the Big Ten tournament. Head down to Pinnacle Bank Arena on Sunday, February 23rd at 2 p.m. to watch the Husker women's basketball team compete against Washington. It's senior night, so help them thank the seniors by creating a loud and proud sea of red in the stands. Get your tickets today for as low as $10. Head to huskers.com/tickets to secure your seats today.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Healing the heart takes heart. Our dedicated team of cardiac experts is here for you with breakthrough treatments for serious conditions and expert advice for living longer with a healthier heart. We bring healing care to our community with over 90 cardiology specialists and subspecialists and more than 50 locations across Nebraska, southwest Iowa, and northern Kansas. Find out how we heal hearts with heart, starting with yours at chihealth.com/heart.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
February is American Heart Month, the perfect time to focus on your health. Even a small change can make a big impact on your heart health. Try adding a vegetable to your dinner or a no-salt seasoning. Looking for support in making these small changes? Join a healthy living program to learn about healthy lifestyle changes with a supportive and encouraging group. Search Chronic Disease Nebraska for more information. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Bundle up, bring your crew, and make this winter one for the books with Bachfest at Beer House. Enjoy winter brews that will tangle with your taste buds, polka dancing, games like Hammerschlagen, Stein Stamina, and much more. Bach beer will be flowing, and sausages and pretzels will be available for purchase. Doors open at 11 a.m., and the party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $5 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for this Saturday's Bachfest.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
Attention! For the entire month of February, Acres has John Deere packaged oil and filters for 15% off. John Deere engineers its oil filters specifically for large ag equipment and commercial and residential mowers. With premium materials, these filters meet the unique demands of your farm and acreage. Following a strict maintenance routine with premium John Deere oil and filters ensures your equipment will run efficiently for years. Visit your local Acres store to start shopping today.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Ladies and gentlemen, that broken glass, that glass shatter, and that song gets me hyped every single time. All right, we're back here on the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket As always, you can check out all things The Ticket at theticketfm.com, also CarrikerChronicles.com, and on YouTube, Carriker Chronicles. All right, Jake, you got any updates? Well, before I go to you, real quick, I saw this thing. Cam Ward, literally just saw it. Miami quarterback Cam Ward, and I quote, okay, you're either going to draft me or not. If you don't draft me, that's your fault. You've got to remember you're the same team that's got to play me for the rest of my career, and I'll remember that, end quote. And the guy commented underneath, Cam Ward is really giving Josh Rosen 2018, huh? Cam Ward, man, this is a dude that plays with a lot of passion. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes, who takes him, and how his NFL career goes. But before we jump in on the E.J. Barthel news, you got anything for me on your end there, Jake?
Yeah, well, I'm glad Josh Rosen got a shot out as a Cardinals fan. That really makes me happy. Anyways.
Didn't he have a hot tub in his college dorm room at UCLA his freshman year or something?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he lived a good life.
He's doing all right.
Just that, it's become to attention a few days ago that Jordan Westerkamp getting into coaching will actually coach at the College of DuPage. Maybe it's DuPage. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. But I do know that the Belushi brothers went there, Jim and John Belushi. So,
well, congrats to Jordan. They just had a baby not a few months ago as well. One of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet. Obviously, a Husker legend. Can't wait to see how he does in coaching, and I'm willing to bet it's going to be very, very well. Good luck to him. All right, before we move on, real quick, I use this C word a lot, but someone actually texted this to me, so I figured I'd use it on air. Consistency wins because it's not what you do once in a while that matters. It's what you do every day. All right, the big news of the day here in the state of Nebraska, well, depending on your perspective. For us, it was big news, Jake. All right, E.J. Barthel was talking with Texas. He was talking with Penn State, or they were talking to him, however you want to look at it. Okay, and let's see here. The ties to Texas. All right, Texas's offensive coordinator, Kyle Floods. He was his player development and recruiting coordinator at Rutgers from 2013 to 2014. Alas, Barthel is coming back. Nebraska extends running back coach E.J. Barthel through 2027. Salary jumps from $293,000 to $450,000. All right, and yeah, that's pretty much the big news. As far as I thought there was more details to it. It's already things I've said. Talk to Texas, talk to Penn State. Huskers finalizing rules staff for 2025. But that's the increase in salary. So what are your thoughts on this? Okay. Are we excited about this? Do we like this? Do we not? Is this money well spent? What's your initial reaction, Jake? That car says Savage on it, by the way. And there's a dude. Wow, that is a phenomenal car that scares the crap out of me. The dude's got his shirt off. He's all sliced and diced from a knife. I don't know if that's appropriate for radio, but they can't see it. I can. Go ahead, Jake.
All right. Well, following that. Yeah, E.J. Barthel, it's interesting. Like you said, sometimes it's not just about resume or, the last season or whatever it might be. It's who's talking to you. And Texas and Penn State, I mean, these are two of the Final Four teams from last year interested in E.J. Barthel for their openings. So you're going to have to pay up to try to keep him or that's just kind of where his resume is floating right there. So I understand the move. That being said, I haven't been overwhelmed by the running backs, I suppose, during his time here. You go back to what he inherited. Anthony Grant kind of went from close to 1,000-yard back to somewhat of a fumbling issue, still led Nebraska in rushing from the running back position. But the problem is Heinrich Harburg led the team for rushing in year one. Of course, they had all those turnover problems, more quarterback-oriented than running back, but still not a great look to have your quarterback lead your team in rushing. And then this past year, I think they did find a nice 1-2 punch, but it wasn't always, that sounds good to look at the stats by the end of the season. But sometimes, there was a game where Emmett Johnson didn't even get a touch.
Yep.
And
your
I
best
felt
running
like,
back.
I felt like by the season's end, it was obvious to everybody that he was the best running back. It didn't seem to kind of hit the coaching staff 6-7 games. They finally kind of got into it when the new offensive coordinator came in. So I don't know. I haven't been crazy impressed by E.J. Barthel, but so far Texas and Penn State must have been. So Nebraska had to make a move here.
My reaction is I'm happy for him. Good business move. Can't blame him. Obviously, other big-time schools want him. We haven't had a standout back since he arrived. Our best running back was struggling to even get the ball. Even in one game, even get the ball at all in a particular game. Why wasn't he in more? Why wasn't he getting more opportunities? Why did certain backs get more opportunities that aren't even here anymore? I'm in wait and see mode. I'm not immediately like, ooh, this is a great move, or ooh, this is a terrible move. I instantly hearken back to after the USC game when Dana Holgerson disagreed with me. He didn't say I disagree with Adam, but he's like, no, there were holes. The running backs weren't hitting them. He put it on the running backs. I still think our offensive line has to play better. But he specifically put it on the running backs. You look at the running backs we've had. We haven't had a standout running back. We have the new OC saying, hey, they're not hitting the holes that are there. To your point with Anthony Grant, he disappeared. The thing I think of, and this is unfortunate with Anthony Grant, is the fumble versus Minnesota. And he's such a better player, and he did so many more things beyond that. But unfortunately, that's what sticks out in my mind. For me, I'm going to wait and see. My initial reaction is very much in the middle. I'm not going to sit here and say Matt Rule lost some other coaches, so he panicked, so he felt like he had to keep EJ. Because that's a thought that entered my head, but I don't know that. I'm not going to sit here and say this is great, this is horrible. It's kind of like fans are with John Butler. Fans are in wait and see mode. People inside that building are ecstatic he's the D coordinator. Maybe they're that way that Barthel's back. I am in wait and see mode with this. Our running game was not good last year. 2 years ago, when our running game was number 2 in the Big Ten, it was the quarterback, to your point, that led the team in rushing. Now, in all fairness to EJ Barthel, we had Adrian Martinez lead the team in rushing. We've had the quarterback lead the team in rushing way too often over the past decade, which has been a problem. For me, I don't immediately get excited. I don't immediately get upset. I'm like, I got to see it next year. We have a clear-cut number 1 running back now. He needs to look like a clear-cut number 1 running back. A guy with physical talents, a guy who works hard, a guy who is a good dude, has every reason to be a good running back. Our offensive line coach is in his 4th year. It's time. I want to see something. That's how I feel. As far as giving him a raise, it's what we had to do to keep him. That's what Matt Rule felt he had to do. Part of me wonders, could we have spent that money bringing in another portal running back, which they haven't shown a lot of interest in doing? They offered 1 portal running back the entire, well, the portal offseason never really ends, but have offered 1 portal running back, and that was all the way back at the beginning of December. And he was the top running back in the entire transfer portal at the time. He went elsewhere. They have faith in that running back room. They have faith in this running backs coach. I'm going to wait and see. Fair? Am I being nice? Am I being kind? Am I being harsh? I know I'm phrasing it like a question. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Jake, because you were going to answer my question because that's how I phrase it. It's not a question. I think I'm being very fair. I think I'm being very kind. I'm going to wait and see. And that's where I'm at. Because I'm going to trust the guy in charge, because I have said that Matt Rule's trying to do everything he can. I like a lot of the things he's doing, and this is what he believes is best. I hope it's not, oh, I can't have another coach leave, and I really got to keep him. I hope it wasn't that. I don't know that it was. I don't know that it wasn't. I haven't seen anything that excites me about this, but I've got a certain amount of trust in Coach Rule, and I'm going to lean on that, and I'm going to wait and see. Sorry, go ahead, Jake.
I was just going to say, too, it's kind of interesting because, obviously the position now includes a lot of receiving out of the backfield. That's what Emmett Johnson did a lot of. So if you do combined yards, you can kind of get a different stat here. But what I've noticed, and looking over the last 2 years when EJ Barthel's been here, they've had 2 games with the running back over 100 yards, 1 in each season, and only 1 against a Power 5 opponent, which was against Wisconsin this past year. So I don't know. I would say we've been underwhelmed. I think most people have been a little bit underwhelmed by the running back production of the last couple of years. Again, you go through the hot potato of who was playing, who was not. Emmett didn't even get a carry in the loss against Illinois. So it's just, and then going into this season, like you said, if they would have spent that money, or it doesn't have to be that money. Like I said, it's not our money. There's money laying everywhere over there. But in any case, if they could have used that, I guess just just to be flat with you, I'm not all that comfortable with the running back position as it is. I think you're one injury away from not really having anybody that has had a snap. So, or too many snaps at this level. So it is what it is. Again, Texas and Penn State are after him. So there must be something there.
I do think they like Quentin Ives. There's a couple of talented freshmen coming in, but how do you just count on a true freshman? It was a risk what they did with Dylan last year. All right, it was a risk. You can't just count on a true freshman. Let's be real. He was pretty much the starter day 1 the day he walked on campus. And Matt Rule said he worked hard. He said he's worked hard. All right, we have. I got a question. So I talked about I'm gonna lean on Rule with this. I'm still gonna see how the season pans out. Deion Sanders. You got faith in Deion Sanders? You trust Deion Sanders as a coach? Like if he was coaching Nebraska, do you think that'd be up or down with Matt Rule? Not a whole topic here, just a quick question.
Yeah, based on what he's done at Colorado, I think it'd be similar.
You're saying it'd be an upgrade from Matt Rule?
I mean, they won more games last year. That could be Big 12.
We might have a topic for another day.
You might have a Heisman Trophy winner. You might have a quarterback going into the NFL draft. I mean,
oh boy, we have a topic for another day. That was just meant to be a quick question. The reason I bring this up, it's official per Bleacher Report. Deion Sanders made no recruiting trips. Colorado confirms Deion Sanders made no in-home or off-campus visits to visit high school kids. He didn't leave his coach's office to go talk to a high school kid. That was just randomly texted me from Andy Jurassic, and I thought it was interesting. We have those two clips. Let's play them really quick, offer quick thoughts, and then we got to get to Matt Schick at 12:30. So this is at the Broyles Award. If you get a chance, it's about a 6-7 minute speech that Matt Rule gave. The dude is a motivational speaker. My goodness. Listen to the whole thing if you get a chance. But we're going to play one short clip and then another little longer clip. Combined, there may be 2 minutes, 90 seconds. We'll react quick, go to break, come back to Matt Schick. Go ahead and play that there, Jake.
You know, he talked about, the things we did at Temple, and many of you guys were instrumental and helped us in that, and talked about the things we did at Baylor, and certainly there's people here that we could never have done that with. We plan on being pretty good next year, and I know this is live streamed, and I'm probably going to get myself in trouble, but we got the 7 wins this year. We plan on making a jump, and when we make that jump, people are going to say all kinds of things.
So real quick before you play the other one, before EJ was officially brought back, he keeps talking about the jump, and he keeps talking about the college football playoff, which is goals that people should have. But I want to play this next clip because part of that is your assistant coaches, and it fits in because we just brought back EJ Barthel, which is a little bit controversial with some people. But go ahead and play the next clip there, Jake.
But what I learned from Al Golden is that you got to work. None of this is easy. You're standing here today because you guys are the best of the best at what you do. You've accomplished great things. You've inspired people. But see, what I love about assistant coaches, and when I first met the Broyles family, and again, I'm grateful to the foundation. I'm grateful to Field Turf, and obviously coming here to Oakland is amazing. But when I first talked about this award, it just hit me to my heart, because you know what? Like, it's hard to be an assistant coach. It's hard to every single day walk in, take the head coach's message, and make it your message. Take decisions that sometimes aren't yours and make them yours. And I learned that from Al Golden. I learned that from Tom Coughlin. I learned that it was my job to show up every day and be on, because the young people that I coached deserved a coach that was on, deserved a coach that was on fire, a coach that was passionate, a coach that believed every single day in what they do.
So I'm going to keep this short and sweet. The first mini clip that we played, he talked about a big jump this year, another jump. And then the next clip talked about how important, and this was at the Broyles Award dinner given to the top assistant coach in the country. Okay, Matt was taught. That's why some of the things he said kind of make sense if you keep it in that context. He talked about how important the assistant coaches is, how important they are. He just brought back the running backs coach. He clearly felt that was important. I just hope that we're making the right decisions. I like the way Matt Rule goes about things, and assistant coaches play a big role, and we just brought back one. Any final thoughts before we go to break, Jake?
No.
All right. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, ESPN's own Matt Schick.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, West Ham plays Brentford at 9 a.m., followed by Crystal Palace versus Everton at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, Liverpool plays Wolves at 8 a.m., followed by Tottenham versus Man United at 10:30 a.m. Liverpool currently leads the standings with 57 points. You can find all this and more at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket, your place for English Premier League soccer, located at 8th and P.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And free fitness training to help you mix up your routine. Plus, most clubs are open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends February 28th. See Home Club for details.
Bundle up, bring your crew, and make this winter one for the books with Bachfest at Beer House. Enjoy winter brews that will tangle with your taste buds, polka dancing, games like Hammerschlagen, Stein Stamina, and much more. Bach beer will be flowing, and sausages and pretzels will be available for purchase. Doors open at 11 a.m., and the party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $5 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for this Saturday's Bachfest.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Healing the heart takes heart. Our dedicated team of cardiac experts is here for you with breakthrough treatments for serious conditions and expert advice for living longer with a healthier heart. We bring healing care to our community with over 90 cardiology specialists and subspecialists and more than 50 locations across Nebraska, Southwest Iowa, and Northern Kansas. Find out how we heal hearts with heart, starting with yours at chihealth.com/heart.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm excited at this time to bring on our special guest. Now, this is a man who worked in Nebraska for quite a while, KETV in Omaha. Now you can turn on your television and see him on multiple different shows when it comes to ESPN, Mr. Matt Schick. How you doing, my friend?
Mr. Carriker, I'm doing great. How are you, my friend?
Dude, life is glorious. It's like negative 80,000 degrees and it's snowing. I love cold weather. Do you like cold weather? You're a Colorado guy. You graduated from CU.
I went to CU. I lived in Nebraska for a long time, but I tell you, living out here in Charlotte, North Carolina, makes you so soft. Like it goes below 40 degrees, and we are all bundled up. Like we can't go outside. It's 38 degrees. Are you crazy? So yeah, we're soft now.
Dude, I totally get it. I've always said, because the Rams were in St. Louis when I played, I've always said the dome made me soft, and I feel stupid saying it, but ever since I played in the dome, I'm like, I swear to God, I'm a wuss when it comes to cold weather. Now that I'm back here, by God, I'm getting tough again, Matt. I tell you what.
yeah. You're like canceling school because of 4 inches of snow. What is this? We're here in Charlotte. It's we might get a trace tomorrow. School's off for the rest of the week. Remote learning. So that's how we are.
Dude, I get it. So I trained for the draft down in Houston, and there was a prediction of snow. All right, the next day they canceled all classes for all schools. All it did was a slight drizzle of rain, and they still canceled all classes. There was no actual snow, just the threat of snow.
We just got our notification from the school district saying we are monitoring. I mean, granted, I'm going to go for a run in a little bit outside. It's beautiful. It's like 45 degrees. But they said we are aware of the situation with the weather. We will make a decision later on today. I'm like, later on today? Nothing's happening. So, yeah, they always try to get ahead of it.
We are aware of the situation. I love that wording. Yeah. All right, my man. So I got a bunch of stuff I want to ask you about. Let's start with your time here at Nebraska, because you covered Husker sports, Nebraska football for a long time, did a lot of things on TV and a bunch of other places, Kearney, Omaha, etc. What sticks out to you from your time covering the Huskers, the Solich era, Callahan, Pelini? What sticks out the most to you from your time covering Nebraska football?
I think for me, it was just the day-to-day minutia of Nebraska football, where you just eat, sleep, drink, breathe it all of the time. Those were great times of like, what's going on next? Because you didn't have, a dozen different 24 outlets and online things that are competing with you. It was local TV. So you had the access to provide for the fans. So that was cool. And then just the access that I was able to get through contacts and through Keith Mann at Sports Information, and just be able to do some off the beaten path stories where, I'm taking Lane Kelly, the former long snapper, grocery shopping, and he's hiking bread through his legs. I posted that online a couple of weeks ago when his wife, Danny Busboom Kelly, became the head coach of Nebraska volleyball. So that's on my Twitter account. I did a fun story with Zach Taylor. I remember doing something with you. I don't know if the story, I think it was about the slow-mo defense and the moves you guys would do pre-game. That was a fun story. We did West Coast defense, where all they did was score, and that was the entire playbook for the defense, because they had like 4 touchdowns.
That was 07, right? That was after 06, right? Okay.
Yeah.
My senior year was 06, to be clear. Go ahead.
Yeah. So just a bunch of fun stories that I was able to do and get to know the players, because it's one thing to just sit down and go, hey, what's the scouting report for Colorado this week? It's another to have some fun with some of these guys, whether it was Sam Keller or Joe Gans or you or Lane Kelly. Just a lot of fun. You feel connected with the program.
So for those who may not know, the slow-mo thing was something that our D-line coach would have us do. We'd go through all our get-offs and hitting the bag and one-on-ones, and then we'd hit the old linemen, get each other good and lathered up. And then we'd go about the 10-yard line. We'd come off. Really slow-mo, doing the most fancy, ridiculous pass rush moves you've ever seen. At first, I thought it was just ridiculous, and then it just like got you loose mentally, just having fun. I thought it was great. All right, so talk to me about Lane Kelly, because he was a long snapper, walked on to University of Nebraska. Our time crossed over quite a bit. You did a feature on him, obviously, as you know, Danny Busboom is now the volleyball coach. But what was it like getting to know Lane, getting to know, as Nebraska fans have learned, don't take your long snapper for granted, all right? What was it like getting to know Lane and doing that whole feature with him?
It was great. The toughest part is just the pitch of, here's what we want to do. What do you think? And you have to find the right person to buy into it. And you also have to find someone who's willing to sell them on it. So Keith Mann was always my go-to of like, hey, I'm not going to lead you astray. We're going to do some fun stories. And So, Lane Kelly and it must have been an off day, or maybe it was right after practice. And we had some snapping on the field, and we took him to a local grocery chain and had him hike had a lettuce through his legs, and he's got his helmet on, his jersey on. And we're going through the store. I don't even know if the store is still there. I think it might have gone bankrupt or whatever and closed. But, and then took him to a bowling alley and had him bowl the ball between his legs like a long snapper was, just to show that it wasn't just his job on the football team, but a way of life. And he was all in on this stuff. And the outtakes, which I'll have to find somewhere, were hilarious, of us just like laughing at the fact that we're doing this stuff. And the fun thing about stories like that is you get kind of connected to the program and the players. And I was in Charlotte last year for the ACC championship game, because I do the Dr. Pepper halftime tuition giveaway stuff, and I've done that for about 5 or 6 years. And Louisville was playing in it last year against Florida State, and Lane knew I was there, and I get this text as I'm about to leave after the halftime. He gives me a text or through Facebook, through Messenger, said, "Hey, we're up here. Why don't you come up here?" So I did, and I probably hadn't seen Lane since he graduated school or shortly thereafter. And so got to reconnect with him and Danny, and this is when she was still the Louisville head coach. They were up in the suite, talked to them for about a half hour, 20 minutes, and talked to them about her future and what they were doing and their family. And then, now he's back as the royal family of Nebraska football. And he and I were just texting last week, all because of a silly 2.5-minute story that aired 20 years ago. And now here we are exchanging texts.
That's odd. It's stuff like that I just think is really cool. The store probably went out of business because the customers saw heads of lettuce being chucked all over the place.
They saw this. Like, if this is the kind of store and thing we're operating here, and allowing Nebraska football players to ransack the place by hucking loaves of bread into the cart, that's not good. The other story I forgot to mention was we had Carl Pelini and Bo Pelini in a story as well, which was a lot of fun. That's online there as well. So yeah, we had some good times.
What was that story about, Carl and Bo? Because they're very interesting, entertaining personalities.
Yeah, it was during a bye week, and I knew I was going to do a story with Carl at the time, and because Keith Mann told me, he's like, who would be good would be Carl. And I said, okay. So I went to work on a story, and the story that we pitched was that instead of all the T-shirts like I'm a Bo Lever and Bo Big Red and my Bo friend's back and all this, because Bo had just gotten rehired at Nebraska, instead of it being about Bo, we had the shirts and everything be originally about Carl, but Bo got jealous and made them about Bo. So the whole story was just juxtaposing about how Carl is the star of this and he's overshadowing Bo, and it's all about Carl. And so we just flipped the script, so to speak, on this whole thing. And I actually went and got T-shirts made. And so in part of the story, he goes, "You want to know the dirty secret about those T-shirts?" And he opens up a drawer in his desk in his office. He goes, "These were the original ideas behind the T-shirts." And he opens up and unfurls a T-shirt, and it says on it, "My Carl friend's back."
Oh, man.
And there's another one about I'm a Carl believer, or whatever it is. And the story ends with Bo walking into Carl's office, and he's wearing a shirt that says "Got Carl?" ? Instead of "Got Bo, got milk." It says "Got Carl." And he asks a question and leaves, and that's it. And it was by far the most, before social media, the most noteworthy story that I did, and one that I still get asked about. How did you do it? How did they take part in it? And I'm still grateful for Bo and Carl for taking part in it. It was a fun day.
I'm curious about the feature on Zach Taylor. I mean, he was the last player that we had was like a conference offensive player of the year, obviously the coach of the Bengals, a very nice, humble guy who's obviously turned into a very good NFL football coach. He makes it back once a year, brings his kids to a Nebraska basketball game. They're big-time Nebraska basketball fans. But what was that feature like with Zach Taylor?
It was great because the first story we actually shot was with Lane, but the first story that actually aired was with Zach. And we pitched the story to Zach. This is before he took a snap with Nebraska football. It was that summer. It was that August. couple weeks before camps or before the season started. And I was looking at his time because he was at Butler Community College, but before that he was at Wake Forest. And at Wake Forest, his stat line for his career at Wake Forest was 1 for 1 for like 3 yards.
I remember that.
Yeah, so we said, Zach, I want to pitch this story, do this story with you, and how we relived that one perfect pass that you threw and just how you think about it all the time and how great it was. And we had the script. I showed it to him. He thought it was hilarious. So he comes out in his green jersey, his practice stuff. This is after he's practiced. And he comes back out. We're sitting in the bleachers. It's just him and me. We're on the field, just he and I, and we're just doing this stuff. The outtakes were funny. France Hardy took part in it at the very end. And the punchline at the end is I run the quick 3-yard out. And instead, he looks me off and throws to France Hardy for 40 yards down the field instead. But, you know, that's also a story that I probably haven't seen Zach in 20 years. But if I did, I'd like to, I'd love to either redo it, do another part of the story, or just reconnect, because I think it's still something that has gotten brought up. Like when they went to the Super Bowl a few years ago, they tweeted it out, or he got wind of it, and it was, I think the local Cincinnati affiliate might have gotten a piece of it. So these were all pre-social media, and had they been done in this day and age, the kids say they would have gone viral. But in that day and age, it was just word of mouth, and if you didn't see it on ketv.com, then you missed it. But enough people saw it, enough people remembered it, so it was pretty fun.
All right. You graduated from Colorado, so we'll look past that. But I have to ask you, this is going to get very, very serious here, Matt. Just I'm going to warn you, very serious here. Okay. All right. Deion made zero in-home visits, didn't leave the Colorado facility to see a single high school recruit. I don't have a question about that. I'm just throwing it out there. My question is, going forward, without Shadur, without Travis as a Colorado alum, what do you realistically think Colorado's future in football looks like under Coach Prime?
Well, I think as long as he's there, they're going to be interesting. And that's the thing that I don't think you can put a price tag on. This was the laughingstock program for the better part of 5 years before he showed up. And for him to do what he's done in such a short period of time, they've gotten the return on the investment. The amount of impressions and all this stuff, just growing the brand has helped. So even when he leaves, it'll be better than when he showed up. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this works, because again, they stockpiled a ton of transfers. I'm not a huge fan of adding 15 to 20 a year, but I get that's his model and that's what he wants to do. He might not have made a ton of in-home visits, but still gets a benchmark quarterback in Juju Lewis. London Merritt is a really good high school defensive end out of IMG. Like, he's going to get a handful of really good high school players, and he's got a bunch of NFL guys on his staff. Marshall Falk, Warren Sapp. What does that mean? I don't know, but it's kind of the bright, shiny light of come check us out and we'll develop you. If you're asking me, which you did, what's their ceiling or what can they attain? I think this is a year-over-year interesting program under Deion. I think it's a team that can compete for a Big 12 championship simply because it's the Big 12 and it's not the SEC or the Big 10. And, even in the new format that they'll probably unveil in the next year or two, you finish top 2, top 3, you're probably going to have a chance to get into the college football playoff. So I think it's a team that, top 25 on average is kind of the expectation. This is not a national championship program. It won't be under Deion unless all of the stars align. But I think as a Colorado alum and Colorado fans, I think they're okay with just being nationally relevant.
I wasn't aware that Marshall Falk was there now. I'm very intrigued with that now. But I think you're right. I was watching a national sports show the other day, and they had a guest on, and they were wearing a Colorado hat. They're not a Colorado person. They're not a Colorado alum. I could see it plain as day, had a Colorado hat on this national sports show, and that has to be connected to Deion. So I appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for joining us, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. Go Buffs. Sorry.
Well, it was a great interview until the end. No, I'm just kidding. All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And free fitness training to help you mix up your routine. Plus, most clubs are open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends February 28th. See Home Club for details.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. All right, 10 years ago, Bullygate. Jonathan Martin accused Richie Incognito, the Dolphins, of bullying him. It came out a couple of nights ago. All right, and some Yahoo named Adam Carriker put this on Twitter, but he got the information from a credible source. It's all over the place. Just Google it. All right, 10 years after Bullygate that rocked the NFL, Jonathan Martin now proclaims, and I quote, "I never believed for a second I was being bullied," end quote. Now, he accused Richie Incognito of bullying him. Martin said, and I quote, "He's been trying to fix this for a long time," end quote. Now, Richie has not spoken publicly on this, but he did send a text to a reporter and said it took him 10 years to tell the truth. That was the quote. Now, we can go back over things. You know, he was voted the dirtiest player in the league, gouging eyes, spitting on people. Obviously, here at Nebraska, he ended up at Oregon. He was there a week, then he was gone. Then at St. Louis. I mean, I was here when he was here at Nebraska. I was there when he was at St. Louis, and then he was gone from St. Louis, and then he was, I think, with the Bills once, and then wasn't there long, and then he was with the Dolphins. Actually, things were going well. Then Bullygate happens. So there's all these different things. There's voicemails from over the years. I mean, I've got it right in front of me. I don't think I'm going to read it. Okay, there's other things that have come up over the years. So for me, did I believe at the time that maybe Richie was bullying him? Yeah, I could see that. I could believe that. I could see it. It wasn't like far-fetched for me. At the same time, it's kind of like, dude, you're like 330. Like, you're getting bullied? Like, what is going on? You're a lineman of all things, all right? And so here we are 10 years later, and Martin basically says he was never bullied. After this news rocked, not just the NFL world, but sports. This was a gigantic deal. And 10 years later, he now does this. Now, to be clear, I could see Richie bullying him. I wasn't in the locker room. I don't know what actually happened. Now, Jonathan Martin says it was his mom. He wasn't hacking it in the NFL. His mom created a narrative that it was Richie. Richie was bullying him, and that's why he couldn't make it. Nobody knows what actually happened except Richie, Jonathan, maybe a couple other people that were there firsthand. For me, I will say this about Richie. All right, he's no saint. He'll tell you that. I think most people know that. But I never saw him as a bully. A bully is someone who picks on people weaker than them. As soon as someone gets in their face, they back down. That's a bully. They're usually weak and soft as tapioca pudding when somebody actually gets in their face. That's not Richie. My first year at Nebraska, I watched Richie get in a fight with every starting player on defense. I watched him get in a fight with both ends throughout the course of the year, over the course of the year. Defensive ends, defensive tackles, linebackers, cornerbacks, safeties. Every single starter throughout the course of that year at one point in time got in a fight with him. He didn't care who you were. He didn't care how big you were. I watched him at one point in time. All four starting defensive linemen and him were going at it for about 10 seconds, and he didn't back down an inch. Now, I'm not advocating for this behavior. What I'm saying is, whether you like that type of behavior or not, that's not the behavior of a bully. He didn't back down to any, he didn't care. While that was not how I approach things, not necessarily how I would encourage people to approach things, like fighting everybody all the time, seemingly. He didn't back down, and I could respect that. He didn't care who you were, how big you were, how small you were, what your name was, or how many of you there were. To me, that's not a bully. I am not defending any of this. The word bully never added up to me. You could say other things. You could use other adjectives if you wanted. But with Jonathan Martin doing this now, how it comes across to me, my opinion, is I think he got tired of, for 10 years, basically being known as, I don't know how, as a wuss. He's probably heard worse things than that. And he's probably tired of hearing it. And he's trying to change the narrative. And now He's basically saying he lied. He's calling himself out as being a liar. How it comes across to me is he's trying to change what he's lived with for 10 years because he doesn't want to continue to live with it for the rest of his life. Now, there's some mental health things that have been involved in this. I have nothing but respect for any of that. And if anyone's out there, you need some help, get help. Okay? There's no judgment there. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself and get help. I know there's been a part of that over the years with this Bullygate as well. To me, I was a teammate of Richie, saw a lot of things. A lot of things have been put out there over the years. To me, that's how it comes across to me. I don't know exactly what happened, but that's my initial take. Any thoughts, Jake?
No, just that it's kind of it's got to be frustrating for Richie. And I know he went to Twitter the other day and was kind of going after the reporters that a lot of media because they ran with the story and obviously never were able to get the facts. You can only get what you're hearing from Jonathan Martin, and it's tough because Richie, like you said, he's not an angel, and so there's plenty of reason for people to believe whatever you told them that Richie probably said to you. You could believe it. Mm-hmm. And but that definitely has changed and affected Richie's life. And now decade later, find out it was all just a story it's something that can't be undone. So no matter, I was reading a little bit about how Jonathan Martin hasn't talked to Richie since I wouldn't talk to him either.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
I think I kind of already assumed that Richie believes it cost him over $10 million plus his entire reputation. Now he got back in the league. He made what? 2 Pro Bowls with the Raiders after this?
Yeah.
When people ask me who are the best offensive linemen you ever faced, the first 2 that pop into my head are Larry Allen, Richie Incognito. Other guys pop in my head as well. Joe Thomas, Alan Faneca, other guys as well. But that's how good he was. Richie was the type of guy, if he was on your team, you loved him. Unless you're Jonathan Martin. If you were on the other team, you hated him. I don't know how else to explain it. That's who Richie Incognito is. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been glorious. Enjoy the day. I still love cold weather. I'm a D lineman. Don't hold it against me. Until next time, go Big Red. And always remember to throw the ball.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, West Ham plays Brentford at 9 a.m., followed by Crystal Palace versus Everton at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, Liverpool plays Wolves at 8 a.m., followed by Tottenham